What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to do a stimulus package, stimulus check update, and we're going to talk a little bit about all the people who received their stimulus checks yesterday. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the VA beneficiaries because we have a date for them as well. And then we're going to dive into this infrastructure bill. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. This is going to be a big battle. This is, I mean, every day we're hearing different things about this infrastructure bill, this jobs plan that President Biden wants to implement. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so the first thing I want to do when we talk about the stimulus checks that went out yesterday is I want to take a look at a poll that I did yesterday. Did you receive your stimulus check via direct deposit, direct express, net spend, etc.? And we had 4,500 people participate in this poll, and a vast majority, 80% of the people said they did receive their stimulus check yesterday, and then we had 20% say they still have not received their stimulus check. And so you see a lot of people did receive their stimulus check, just like the IRS said. Electronic payments went out yesterday, April 7th, and so good news for a lot of people. And I think the IRS has indicated about 152 million people have received their stimulus checks so far, but we still have a million people that have not received their stimulus checks, and veterans beneficiaries are one of them. So as far as veterans beneficiaries, we do have a date, and let's go over to our illustration again here, and let me look at our old calendar here. And so we know yesterday, vast majority of people who are on Social Security and non-filers received their stimulus checks yesterday. So the new date now, the new date that we're looking at will be the 14th of April. That's for veterans beneficiaries who are non-filers. So that is the new date. Now, understand, people will still be receiving paper checks. Okay, so they'll still be going out. And so if you have not received your stimulus check yet, you might be getting a paper check, or you might be getting the debit card. So just because you didn't receive an electronic payment yesterday doesn't mean that you're not going to receive a stimulus check. There's still a little bit of time. Now, I would still go over to the Get My Payment portal just to make sure that you have a date. But just understand that they're still processing. So it's not over yet. They're still processing these stimulus checks, and hopefully they will be able to get out these last about 8 million people. Hopefully they'll be able to get those checks out to them. All right, now I want to talk about the infrastructure bill, and this is the next bill that we're going to be following very, very closely. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, because we're going to be following this, and this is a jobs plan. Now, in this infrastructure bill, you're hearing a lot about roads and bridges, and even like Bernie Sanders was saying, they want to focus on human infrastructure. But what you're not hearing a lot about, and what I think President Biden's starting to really push this agenda, this is a jobs plan. This will get people back to work. And this is important for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, the economy will improve, as well as people will be back in the workforce, and they'll be paying taxes, and they'll be paying towards Social Security and all that. So when we're looking at this infrastructure bill, this is very important. And it's what, $2.5 trillion is the estimate right now. They want to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% up to 28%. And so that's how they want to pay for this. But this is a very important bill. So in the last year, we talked about the stimulus package and stimulus checks, and we were focused on that, and people were very, very interested in that. That was the rescue portion. Now we need to move towards the recovery, and that's the jobs plan. That's the infrastructure bill. And now we know budget reconciliation is in play, and so they'll have an opportunity with just a majority vote to get this passed. Now, the problem is you have Senator Joe Manchin, and he keeps speaking out. He keeps speaking out about his opposition to, first it was a corporate tax rate. The Biden administration wants to raise it from 21% to 28%. Senator Joe Manchin said, no, that's not good. 25% is kind of, I don't want to go any higher than 25%. And now we're hearing that he has issues with budget reconciliation as well. And so I think Senator Joe Manchin he just wants to be relevant. He just wants to be relevant. So he's going to continue to kind of push back at President Biden. Now, President Biden has indicated this yesterday, that he's open to negotiating when it comes to this corporate tax rate. And you have to understand this. A lot of these corporations, they're not paying 21%. their effective tax rate is more like 4%, 5%. You heard Jeff Bezos yesterday talking about this corporate tax rate, and he's like, yeah, I'm for that. I think the 21% should go up to 28%. He's saying that because the effective tax rate that they're paying is much less than that. And some corporations aren't paying any taxes at all. And so when it comes down to it, yeah, they're going to say that they're on board for it because they understand that it doesn't affect them at all. Now, it might affect some businesses, but for them, they have the best accountants. They know how to work these loopholes and not pay anything when it comes to taxes. So we'll have to see where it goes when it comes to the whole tax rate debate. But we see Senator Manchin still pushing back, continues to push back on President Biden when it comes to this next infrastructure bill. And so, well, I mean, it's very interesting when I look at Senator Manchin and you look at West Virginia. West Virginia is not one of the states that is really doing well when it comes to the economy. And so jobs should be something that he would be pushing for. And the fact that he is pushing back is something that's really, really interesting. And you really need to start looking at the reasons, like what is his motive here to try to push back against this infrastructure bill and budget reconciliation. So we'll, like I said, we're going to have to continue following this. This is going to be a huge bill. It's going to be bigger than the stimulus packages that we've seen in the past. And we also have to mention there's going to be human infrastructure in this bill. So you're going to have more stimulus for the American people. Now, not necessarily direct payments, okay? That's not on the table at this point, but you're still going to have programs in this bill that are going to help people when it comes to housing and help elderly people, help people when it comes to going to college and things like that. And these are all things that are very, very important. These are all things that will help us financially. And so that's why we need to focus on this infrastructure bill. And like I said, and I'll say this in all my videos, in the description, I have information. You can call the switchboard. You can talk to your congressperson. You can get on Twitter. You can tweet them. You can go on their YouTube channels, because a lot of them have YouTube channels, and you can chat with them there. In some cases, sometimes they turn off their comments. So we are going to keep following this. We're going to keep following this infrastructure bill, and we're going to see where it goes. And then we're also going to look, because we might potentially see another stimulus package in the future. Okay, not right now, but in the future, there could be another stimulus package, depending on how this all works out. If we have Senator Joe Manchin just setting up roadblocks everywhere and they can't move forward with another infrastructure bill, and that causes our economy to tank, well, then we might be looking at a situation where they're going to have to go back to that rescue plan again and pull out another stimulus package. So we'll just have to see where that goes. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please post them down below. And remember, next week, April 14th, that is when veterans beneficiaries who are non-filers are expected to receive their stimulus checks. So that's all I have for you guys. Please hit the like button if you like the video. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.